Hi, we're the Clark family, and we've sold our house and packed up our lives and moved to Galicia in northern Spain.
So follow us as we start our new lives, learn new skills, join a new community, and try to live a more sustainable life.
It's the crickets. Buenos dias.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Well,
Sí.
ahora, pero el sábado. When the video goes out, I suppose it is buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
Bon dia, as they say in Galicia.
They do.
Welcome back to Escape to El Campo. It's been a week of beautiful weather this week. The our temperature's about 20 degrees, haven't we? All week, most of the week? All week, I think, hasn't it?
It's 24 at the minute.
Yeah, it's lovely. A note of caution though, I've just looked at the weather forecast. On Sunday it's going to be 20, on Monday it's going to be 9.
And chucking it down again.
And raining again, and with almost freezing, frosty temperatures overnight again. So, yeah, the weather changed on a sixpence here.
Yeah.
But I think that's why we like it so much, don't we? It's yeah, you never know what you're going to get, do you?
You never know what you're going to get.
But at least we do get blocks of weather, don't we? We sort of get a week of nice, and then a week or 10 days of rain, and then a week of nice again.
And it's just brilliant for the trees. I mean, the trees are all growing so well now because they are getting so much sun, and then they're also getting so much rain at the same time. Well, not at the same time, in the next minute. So everything seems to be growing really well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Yeah.
The plants in the polytunnel, the beans and stuff we planted, everything's really flying along, isn't it? They're all poking their heads up out the soil.
We did nearly have a bit of an emergency one morning when it was really foggy in the morning, so I'd come up and I'd let the chickens out, make sure they all had food and water and stuff, and then went back in the house, thought nothing of it. And then without even realising, the fog cleared and the sun properly came out. And you came out, didn't you? And you went into the polytunnel. And what did you say it was?
It was 50 degrees.
50 degrees. All the letters had... And all of the... everything in there had just collapsed, hadn't it? Where it had overheated, so...
We opened both doors.
Yeah, got an emergency load of water in there, and thankfully...
Everything survived, doesn't it? Yeah.
By some sort of miracle, everything stayed. So we've learnt a valuable lesson.
It's a lesson learnt for the summer, I think. Those doors need to be open first thing in the morning or... Permanently open once this sort of intermittent hot cold weather finishes.
Yeah, and if the weather forecast is going to be warm and the day starts foggy,
leave the door open anyway.
But that was a lesson learned, that was, and I think we had a bit of a lucky escape.
So Monday we picked up our pollos, which are our chickens for eating.
Yay!
From the agricultural cooperative.
Yeah.
We were literally finishing building the chicken tractor around them as we as we deposited them into the chicken tractor. It was a bit of a rush because we'd run out of chicken wire, hadn't we?
Yeah.
So we'd had to run down to the ferreteria in town to get some more chicken wire, and then the co-op was going to close, so we had to rush down there and get the chickens.
Yeah, we just got there in time, didn't we?
Yeah, so it was all a bit of a rush, but we got it done, didn't we? And they seem to have settled in really well.
Yeah, absolutely. They seem happy. So they were looking a bit sorry for themselves when we first got them, weren't they?
Yeah, but it was a hot day Monday, wasn't it?
It was a hot day.
And they're all cooped up in a box down at the cooperative. So when we got up here, we thought it was a bit touch and go for one or two of them, didn't we? But
yeah, especially because we'd ordered 20 and we were only given 19 because one of them had already died. Or whether they died before they got there, I'm not really sure of the ins and outs, but we only got 19. So yeah, there were a couple that just didn't really seem very confident on their feet. And I had to show a couple of them physically where the water was and put their faces, put their beaks in the water just to try and get some liquid in them, but yeah, they soon figured it all out, and now they're
right as rain, aren't they? Yeah. They're all sunbathing at the minute. they sort of lie on their sides and stretch their legs out to get a nice tan on their legs, don't they? Nice chicken tanned legs.
Do you reckon they're going to be like pre-cooked chickens?
Oh, they could be. Is that how they do it?
I don't know.
Is that how they pre-cook chickens?
I think maybe.
Yeah, maybe they do, yeah.
Yeah, if
Stick
it's
'em out in
not,
the road.
we might have invented something.
Paint and sit quick.
That is obviously a joke. We are looking after our chickens. Don't send anybody after us.
Okay, it's finished. Chicken tractor is finished, and we have 19 chickens. We ordered 20, one didn't survive the trip, unfortunately. So here we are. Quite pleased with it, apart from the incredible weight of the thing. So just a few points here, so security points. I've installed these PIR sensor solar lights. So if Mr. Fox comes round at night, I'm hoping that these will come on and scare him off. I'm not sure if they will or not. Some chat on the internet seems to say that they will. So there's one at the front, and there's one at the rear here. I'll come up tonight and just see how bright they actually are, but they looked quite bright when we did them indoors earlier. Also, as you can probably hear, there's a radio on a chat station. I don't know if you can see that installed up in the apex there. Theory being that fox may be one of the top apex predators, but man is a predator of fox in all intents and purposes. And the theory goes, if you can hear man's voice, he won't come anywhere near you. So if we have this radio playing on chat radio 24/7, maybe it'll keep Mr. Foxy away, who knows. So that's for sort of security during the day. Well, the radio's for the daytime and the night. Obviously the lights are for nighttime. Aren't these clouds amazing? That's incredible. Anyway, back to chicken. Inside, the automatic door is working. So if I go inside and show you. So as I mentioned before, this is by a company called Chicken Run. It came from Slovenia. I'm not sure if they're a Slovenian company or whether that's where it's just where it's manufactured. So we'll come to the back. I'll just turn this radio down so you can hear what I'm saying. Okay, so this is Run Chicken door. It's got this light PIR on it, so that works off the ambient background light. It'll only work off sunlight, it doesn't work off torchlight or anything like that. So 20 minutes after dusk, the door will close. It stops halfway, just for 10 seconds, just to give any chickens a chance to get out of the way. It has got a, if it feels any resistance, it will stop. So it's just another little security. Right. So there we are. So that's shut. Like I said, this is aluminium. So if Mr. Fox does get inside here overnight, digs his way in, or however he gets in, I would guess probably the easiest way would be to dig his way in. He's going to have to go through this 2-inch wood and this aluminium door to get into the chicken. So yeah, hopefully that'll keep him out. And then in the morning, obviously, when the sun comes up, the old chickadees can come out. So there we go. Got a couple of feeders, watering feeders just hanging from the roof, so when we're moving the tractor every morning, we don't have to bother with that. I haven't really got my head around how I can suspend the ladder to get themselves inside, so we'll have to come in, and I've just made it very easy to just you know, it just hooks on there, so that's easy to move. And then also this massive feeder. Now when we went to the shop and asked for a feeder, He said how many chickens. We said 20, and we thought, flipping out, look at the size of this thing. That's way too much for what we need. But when this lot are here feeding, it's not big enough. I think we're going to have to get another one to stop any sort of squabbling going on. So yeah, good. That's all good. Let's go outside. I had real trouble making this door. I think it's because even though the door itself is square, and so this angle here is square and the door is square, I think because I made it on a slopey ground, it didn't help. Yeah, so in the morning, obviously the tractor will move to. We'll pick it up and move it. It just moves on these wheels, and this handle here. When you lift this handle here, the wheel is offset, and it lifts the back of the tractor up. And then there's one on the other side, so you lift them both. They rest upon here. The handles do, and then round the front, we'll pick it up with this. And then we've just got to move it up 2.5 meters forwards to the next sort of fresh grass for the old chickadees. In the last couple of weeks, last Monday, up the top there's the egg layers, 6 of them up there. They're settled in really well. They even come now when Emma calls them, and these are for consumption, so we won't be getting so attached to these. Yeah, they won't be named, and we'll be keeping our distance from them other than their welfare. Another little step forwards. So as promised, I'm back up at the chicken shed in the dark. We're just going to test the security lights. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's pretty good. Hopefully that'll scare Mr. Foxy off. Who knows? Let's try the one around the back. Here we go. So they're working and they're pretty bright. So yeah, the chickens are all away for the night. We'll see what the morning brings. Yeah, so they're coming along really well. They're not putting themselves away at night, but they are letting themselves out in the morning with the old the run chicken automatic door. So that's working great. As far as we know, we've not had any foxes around. So hopefully, touch wood, the lights and the radio constantly on up there, or the radio on the talk station is working.
Yeah. So
hopefully it's it's all going to be good. And our second run chicken door arrived today. So I've just installed that on the hyenas. So that's the hen laying eggs.
God's sake.
The egg laying hens. So that automatically will open and shut it at night, won't it now? And it open in the morning. Okay, so that's run chicken automated door number 2 in. So these girls now are putting themselves to bed at night. When it gets dark and the automated light comes on the inside, they go and perch themselves, roost. Roost, is that the proper word? They roost, and the door should then shut at a similar sort of time. But we'll come up tonight and just check to make sure everything is hunky-dory. And they're pretty good anyway now. They put themselves away at night, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
the lights worked. So we've ordered another light now for the chickens to hopefully encourage them to actually go in there when that light comes on. We'll see.
We'll see how it works out. Yeah, so the hyenas, they're going to look after themselves now, aren't they? Hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll check on them tonight to make sure that they do put themselves away and the door doesn't just lock them out. But I don't think it will. I think they'll be in.
Yeah,
and
assuming that we get the timings right on the door and stuff. So
and on the lights and stuff. Yeah. So the chicken tractor seems to be working okay. It's a bit difficult to move, to say the least, but partly because it's so heavy, and partly because the way I've put the wheels on it, they're sort of splaying out like this under the weight of it. I've ordered some new, because we couldn't. I wanted some bolts. I wanted some like 20mm diameter, 100mm length bolts to put through the wheels, so something nice and sturdy to hold it up. And we just couldn't find any, so I found some on the internet, just waiting for them to be delivered. So I'll swap out the 20mm bit of metal tubing I've used, which seems to be giving way now, and swap it for solid metal bolts, and hopefully that'll resolve it a little bit anyway.
Are you still going to use the Jubilee clips to hold it on?
No, I won't need to with the bolts, will I?
No, because I think they're the Jubilee
Yes,
clips,
I
and I think they're slipping
Yeah,
as
they
well.
are.
I think that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
But anyway, we've been told now by 2 different neighbours that they think that coop isn't big enough for 20 chickens once they're nearly fully grown. So with that bearing in mind, we've sort of thought that we're going to build another one, which will be handy because we'll cull 10 when they're ready, because the white ones will be ready before the red ones. So then when it comes to it, then we'll buy 10 to replace them, and then 10 because you don't want to put in older ones in with younger ones. Anyway, the amount of times that Adam says, when we build that next one, I'm going to do that bit so much better. Oh, when we do the next one, I'll do that bit so much better. Oh, I've got a brilliant idea for the next one, so watch this space.
Yeah, we'll do it again, but better. Oh, another little win this week. We were out with our neighbours on Saturday night, and I was telling him about the water pump. The water pump is broken up. We couldn't get it working. We couldn't get it lifted because we thought that the one-way valve 12 meters underground had broken. And he said, well, I'll come round and have a look at it for us, because he'd done a similar thing with his, hadn't he? They moved in from Andalusia 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
3 years
ago. 3 years ago.
Yeah.
They had a similar problem with their well, and he fixed that. So he said he'd come round and have a look at it. And he was scratching his head like we were, because he was expecting to see a larger bore pipe.
Yeah, shout out to Jeff on Instagram. Thanks very much for pointing out that there should be a tube and we should be able to pull it out. We did dig and we didn't find it. However, with our neighbour here and giving us a little bit of confidence, I followed the pipe out. I dug, and 3 meters maybe, is it 2.5 meters? So I dug out and just followed the pipes out and just kept digging until we found the bigger tube that goes down into the ground. And once we'd found that, it was all fairly easy going, sort of, wasn't it? Yeah.
The pipes lifted out easily. Between myself and the neighbour, we were able to lift them out. The new ones went back in. Well, I've got some footage, I can show you that. So I won't ruin it for you. You can look at the actual footage. How exciting, eh?
Or bore them with the story twice.
Or bore them. So yeah, I won't bore you with the story twice. Yeah, watch this. So anybody who's been following us for a couple of months will know that we've been having, we lost the water from the well. This pressure valve, or this pressure cylinder, this is a new one. The old one fell off, basically. It just rotted away and fell off. And since then we've had no water, because we couldn't get the pump at the bottom, the green block at the bottom, to hold any water, and it needs to be fully charged in order for it to lift the 13-14 meters that it needs to lift up. So we were out yesterday with a neighbour, and he offered to come round and have a look at it, and under his supervision we've chased the pipe along that come out the bottom, and we have exposed the borehole. It's got a plastic bag stuffed in it at the minute, just to stop any spoil going down there. So yeah, we've got and we managed to, between the two of us, we've pulled there we go, see if we can get the hole. We pulled the 2 pipes out, the 14 meters of pipe. It doesn't look 14 meters, but I've just measured it, so it is. Yeah, and this contraption here, I think, is the culprit and the source of all our problems. You can see it's been in there for a long time. I think there's supposed to be some sort of filter or valve or something on the bottom here. And as you can see, it's been sat in water, I guess, for many years. So yeah, pleased that that came out. It came out a little bit easier than what I thought it was. Going to. So tomorrow we're going to the plumbers, plumbing merchants. We're going to replace this length of pipe here and get rid of some of these fittings, because there's too many fittings there really for a decent job. So we'll replace that with all new, and we're going to replace this plastic pipe as well with some new flexible MDPE. I think this pipe has actually got I don't know if you can see that, it's got these joints in that he's soldered. They're not soldered, they're are they melted? You put like a glue in there and stick them in, and it sort of welds them together. The glue does. Yeah, so that's that. So we're going to replace these, because I guess these are getting a bit. I thought they perhaps would snap the way they were bending as we pulled it out, but they didn't. But as they're out, we're going to replace them with some new anyway. And what I will do also is, I think I'll build some sort of chamber over the top of this, so in the future if we need to get to it, at least we know where it is. Even if the chamber's not massive, we'll know where it is.
I was going to say, show how much you have to dig out.
So yeah, there's all the there's a spoil we've dug out this morning. Well, I dug out this morning. Yeah, so happy days. Let's get this replaced, get the new pipes down the well, and hopefully we'll be back on the water. As I've explained previously, we aren't without water, and we're fed from what are they called, a deposit, a water deposit up here somewhere. We're not sure where, but it's up there, and it feeds the whole village. But speaking to another neighbour, the guy whose farm you can see just there in the background, the white, he says that if it's a hot summer, that water will run out. So we would be without water then. So it just sort of focused our mind a little bit that we needed to get this repaired.
Also, the only way that we have water to the barn is...
Yeah, true. Also, yeah, there's a connection in here that runs up to the barn. So yeah, that pipe just there with that van, which currently turned off, I'm gonna have to replace that as well, because when I was doing the preliminary excavations on this, I put the shovel through the pipe. So there's a section of pipe there that needs digging out and replacing as well. So we're back at the scene of the crime, the pump. See if we can get this pump repaired. I've just cleaned out the existing pipe work out of the pump and give it a bit of a clean. That fits into the right hand side, fits at the top there, and hopefully that's going to fit onto the pipe I've just bought. In fact, I'm just going to check that right now. Okay, so we're back from the plumbers merchants, and this is the offending one-way valve. So we replaced that, got a new one of them. A couple of 90 degrees, one coupling, this is the old coupling to fit into the pump. What we don't have is a coupling to fit this pipe onto the pump, because I didn't know what size it was. I was hoping I'd be able to get it off and then take it to the plumbers merchants. However, it was very brittle. This very brittle solvent plastic, and as soon as I put a spanner on it to turn it, it just disintegrated. So I've saved as much as I can of it, and I'm going to hope that I'll be able to take it down to the plumbers merchants, and he's going to be able to recognise the size of it or measure the size of it, and we'll have the right fitting. So now we have to connect all these fittings up to the larger pipe and the smaller pipe, and then we have to drop it down the borehole. So good luck, everybody. Okay, so that's the business end dealt with. All the joints PTFE taped, all nipped up nice and tight. So what we're going to do now is use some zip ties to just to zip tie the pipes together every couple of meters, just to hold it together as we drop it down into the borehole. So that's the pipes in with a couple of 90-degree bands on the top. The idea of this is that I'm going to form a chamber here. So I'll pour a concrete base, or dig this hole out a bit bigger to give us a bit more space. Pour a concrete base in there and go down the builders merchants, see if they've got any sort of pre-cast concrete or plastic chambers, and I'll put a lid on it. So in the future, if this happens again, all we have to do is undo these couplings here, pull the pipe out, and we can replace the bottom without all this digging and faffing around. In theory, this should last for years and years and years, probably outlast me. But yeah, just think to the future and pass it on down the line. Okay, after much running backwards and forwards to the plumbers merchants, she's all piped up, and I'm working. We're getting water in the house. However, the pump is constantly pumping. So I think the pressure vessel on top hasn't got enough pressure in it to make the pump switch off. So I just need to do a bit of reading and see what I need to put the pressure vessel up to. It said when I bought it, it was already charged when it came out, but perhaps it's not. So the well's up and running. We sorted out the problem with the pump constantly pumping. There was some messing around to be done with the pressure valve and also the pressure vessel on the top, putting more pressure in there and restricting the maximum minimum limits on the pressure valve, and it's all working. The only job I've got to do now is just need to cut about a metre and a metre and a half off of the vertical pipe here. As you can see, I've got it raised up. What was happening was, I think we perhaps put a little bit too much pipe on down the well, and it was sucking lots and lots of sediment up. All the taps in the house blocked up. Luckily they've all got little filters on, so we cleaned all the filters out. We've raised this up a metre. So what I'm going to do is cut a metre off those vertical pipes, and that's that problem resolved. And then I just need to build a little chamber around there to for future access. So that's all good. So so this is an outdoor tap just here. So that's on. You can hear the pump pumping away, and there's the water. So it's all happy days. We're back on. So we've got water for washing and the washing machine and all that sort of stuff. We don't drink this water, but without it, yeah, a bit lost really. Especially as we were told that the village supply does dry up sometimes in the summer. So happy days, another job done.
I don't know, but I'm pausing now for the video to play. I don't know why, because obviously you just cut this bit, and that's stupid, isn't it?
We're going to sit here for 30 minutes and just wait.
Just waiting. 30 minutes? Is that how long are you gapping on about the pump for?
No, not at all.
27?
Yeah. Cheers. Salud.
Salud.
Prost.
And what else do you say?
That's it.
Cheers, yeah. Oh, I had my first ever go on a lawnmower this week, having reached the ripe old age of this year, and had never used a lawnmower in my life. I had a go on the petrol one.
Not the ride on.
Oh no, I've
No.
used that one before. I don't really count that as a lawnmower. I mean like a push-along lawnmower.
It's not push along though. It's self-propelled under the petrol engine.
There was times when I was having to propel it because I didn't want it to pull itself along because it was too bloody fast.
So the grass around the
Willow trees.
I want to say southwest because that's willow for Spanish, and the word willow's gone out of my head now.
That's willow for Spanish.
That's willow for
That's willow for Spanish.
Spanish for willow.
Yeah.
Okay, it's Spanish for willow or willow for Spanish. Either way you want to look at it. The grass was getting quite tall, wasn't it? So we know we've discussed many a time before that the willows don't like a lot of competition with other plants. So Em volunteered to go up there and wrestle, and let me tell you, it was a wrestle with a lawnmower, didn't you?
Yeah, but let's not tell them too much about that because I'm going to moan about that on this next video. So
Okay.
we'll just let them watch that now rather than me boring them twice with me moaning.
Were you actually crying in the video?
No, and I suppose on the video they also can't see me strop off.
Oh, okay. There was lots of stropping and tears involved
I
in
didn't
this.
actually cry. You said, how's it going? And I said, I can't talk to you right now or I might cry. Wasn't actually crying.
I was down the garden, I could hear sobbing from up the field.
Anyway, I won.
You won, and you did a good job as well, so
Aw, thanks.
high five.
Yeah, but I'm not doing it again.
Okay.
QVT. I can't actually see my screen very well because of the sun, but here's a willow looking very happy next to a pile of grass that's unfortunately also looking very happy. So yeah, the willows, you can just about sort of make them out in and amongst the tufts of grass. I hope that whilst I am lawn mowing, I really hope they're going to be a bit easier to spot than what they are on here, but we'll give it a go. So if somehow you've just watched that and you thought, God, she made that a little bit more difficult than what it needed to be, let me tell you, I think that job was a lot more difficult than it needed to be. God, the thing doesn't have a speed control on it, and it was too fast, it was too scary, there was too many potholes, it's too hot. But I'm pretty pleased with the job that I've done actually. The only problem is that we were very, very precise about the row widths in one direction. So the direction that I've just done that in, the rows are all absolutely perfect, the perfect width apart. However, when we were putting them out, we didn't really consider the distance apart from them in the opposite direction. So now ideally I could do with going up and down sort of on the vertical to the horizontal that I've just done. I don't know how else to describe that, but that's not actually going to be possible. However, it does need doing. Let me show you. The bloody tree trunks didn't help, to be fair, but anyway, I've stopped moaning now. So you can see down here that they start off pretty straight, and just here as well they're pretty straight, and then this one is off, and then just there's one smack bang in the middle of what should be a row, and that's where we sort of planted them in this direction, so that when we laid a string to make it exactly 1 metre apart from each other. But then sometimes, I mean, if you watched the video you'd have seen that we really struggled to get them in at some points. So if in a metre's time where the next one was supposed to go in, if the ground was too hard, then we'd perhaps try 5 centimetres either side, or 10 centimetres either side, or sometimes it was sort of like 20 or 30 centimetres either side. So going up and down this way Do I trust myself with the brush cutter? Would that be easier? I don't know. Let's give it a go.
Oh, one interesting thing, we went shopping yesterday and I had a brush with the law. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I got pulled over by the local Guardia, is it Guardia? Guardia Local. I got done for speeding. I was speeding in a 50 apparently.
How many kilometres per hour were you doing in
Well,
a 50,
I've only got your translation for this. So the bit I find a little bit annoying, I'm not going to rant about this, the little bit I do find annoying about this is you got high speed roads, so 1 minute you can do 90, and then you go into, there'll be like one house on the side of the road, and all of a sudden you've got to be doing 50. And it was in one of these situations where it went from a 90 to a 50, straight back up to a 90 again. And I just cruised through the it didn't really register that it was a 50, so I just cruised through, didn't I?
Yeah, and it was a good 5 kilometres later when this copper just pulled out in front of you and
He just
like,
stood
told
out,
you to
didn't
come
he?
in.
Yeah.
The funny thing is though, Adam is saying like, oh, he just didn't take any notice of it and didn't really notice that it was there. However, on the way back, we were like, we better go and find this zone. He was like, oh, I know where it is. It's at the top of the hill. So he did know.
It just didn't register. That was the problem. It just didn't register. So €200 lighter. If I pay it on time, if I don't pay it on time, it's €400.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, the paperwork hasn't arrived in the post yet for us to be able to change our driving licences over. So luckily for you, because you've still got your English driving licence, he said that he's not going to give you any points. So I think you've been let off quite lightly there.
Yeah.
Also, the fella could not apologise enough. He's like, I am so sorry. He said Spain's the country with the most amount of speed cameras in the whole of Europe, and so many people have to pay fines in Spain for driving too fast, and I'm so sorry that I have to give this to you, but please make sure that you go to the CaixaBank in your local town and you'll be able to pay it there and do it before this date. And oh, it's all to do with the government, and I'm so sorry. And then there's him done 82 kilometres an hour in a 50. In England, I think you would have been quite a lot of trouble for that.
Yeah, you would have been, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, but he couldn't apologise enough for the fact that you got caught speeding.
No. Didn't make me feel any better though, I must admit.
No, nor me.
So that's the third time I've been stopped now since we've been here. So on average, I'm getting stopped every 2 months.
Yeah.
Once every 2 months.
Not by speeding, the other
no,
two times, let me just say. The other two were just spot checks.
One was a spot check on the vehicle.
And for paperwork.
The other, yeah, for paperwork check. The other time was in the run up to Christmas, and they were everybody was getting pulled over and breathalyzed.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, this yesterday, coming back from, going to shopping.
Yeah.
So we go to a well-known supermarket that rhymes with piddle. Because it's cheaper, because food in Spain is incredibly expensive. So, but we have to travel a little bit to go there. So we go there to save a bit of money. However, it didn't save us any money. It cost us an extra €200, didn't it? So, not good. Not good times.
Not good times.
Not happy days.
Not funny.
No. Well, there we go. You live and learn.
Will you learn?
I shall just drive everywhere at 50 kilometres an hour now and annoy everybody.
No, I was going to take even longer to go to shopping. So I think that's it for this week. Pretty much caught you up with everything that we've been up to.
Yeah, that's about it, isn't it? Is that it?
That's it.
Bye.
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 Ciao.
Bye.
Adios. Why do you go bye like that? You're a weird.